This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets. U.S. crude oil production this year will rise faster and demand increases will cool compared to prior expectations, the U.S. Energy Information Administration, EIA, said on Tuesday. EIA issued the new outlook after OPEC and allies extended output cuts through 2024. Saudi Arabia will pare 1 million barrels per day, BPD, from its July output to stabilize oil markets, it said. The production cuts by the group known as OPEC Plus will slightly reduce global oil inventories in each of the next 5 quarters and boost global oil prices in late 2023 and early 2024, the agency predicted in its short-term energy outlook.
Oil fell for a second day on Wednesday as concerns over global economic headwinds deepened, erasing the price gains booked after top crude exporter Saudi Arabia's surprise weekend pledge to deepen output cuts. Brent crude futures were down 56 cents, or 0.7%, at $75.73 a barrel at 07:05 GMT. The U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures fell 52 cents, also 0.7%, to $71.22 a barrel. Both benchmarks jumped more than $1 on Monday after Saudi Arabia's decision over the weekend to reduce output by 1 million barrels per day, BPD, to 9 million barrels of oil per day in July.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
The European Commission is investigating the flow of allegedly fraudulent biofuels into the EU following a complaint from Germany, sources told Reuters, as a Commission spokesman said the bloc was determined to tighten oversight of the trade. The spokesperson said in an email to Reuters that an unnamed member state had referred imports from China that have potentially been mislabeled as more profitable biofuels. Industry sources named the country as Germany. EU incentives for biodiesel production made with waste oils and fat to increase renewable energy use has caused concerns that companies in Asia are mixing biofuels with cheaper oils and exporting them to Europe.
China's crude oil imports in May rose to the third highest monthly level on record, customs data showed on Wednesday, as refiners built inventories and stepped up operations after maintenance in April. Crude imports in May totaled 51.44 million tons, or 12.11 million barrels per day, BPD, according to data from the General Administration of Customs. That was up 12.2% from the 10.79 million barrels of oil per day of crude imported in May last year. Shipments to the world's largest oil importer increased significantly month on month, up 17.4% on April's 10.32 million barrels of oil per day.
Next, we have the top news in metal markets.
China's copper imports slid 4.6% in May from a year earlier, customs data showed on Wednesday. A soft demand amid a shaky economic recovery in the world's top metal consumer dampened buying appetite while domestic production remained high. Imports of unwrought copper and copper products totaled 444,010 tons in May, data from the General Administration of Customs showed. The metal, including anode, refined, alloy and semi-finished copper, is used widely in construction, transportation and power sectors.
China's imports of iron ore rose 3.95% in May from a year earlier, customs data showed on Wednesday, as the relatively high hot metal output sustained demand for the steelmaking ingredient. The world's largest iron ore consumer brought in 96.18 million tons of the steelmaking ingredient last month, up from 92.52 million tons in May 2022, the General Administration of Customs said. China's daily hot metal output, a blast furnace product whose output is often used to gauge iron ore demand, among the 247 steel mills surveyed averaged 2.4 million tons in May, up by 0.6% on the year, according to a Reuters calculation based on data from consultancy MySteel. We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector. Deep within a suburban St. Louis warehouse, rows of ID-tagged soybean plants, bred using artificial intelligence, stretch toward precision-timed grow lights and sway as fans circulate a custom mix of carbon dioxide and humidity. These soy varieties in Benson Hill's 47,000 square foot crop accelerator produce beans with exceptionally high protein to satisfy two competing demands: supply the growing biofuel sector and expand the market for soy meal. We're going to utilize the full genetic potential of the plant to produce things that are more meaningful and valuable, said Matt Crisp, Benson Hill's co-founder and CEO.
That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.